What's up YouTube, Webbers5 here, coming at you today with my friend Max's updated Madolche deck profile, as requested by Fede S, I think. I don't remember, I don't have anything written down on me, and I apologize if I got that wrong, but anyway, let's go to Max with the profile.
It's always good for the fans first. Well, first of all, we'll start off 3 Petting Accessoire, the best monster in the deck now, for the fact that it speeds up the deck as long as you have no monsters in grave.
And Max, how frequently do you have no monsters in your grave?
Pretty much all the time first turn. If you get Madolche, you kick off unless it's ashed, but it's also a great bait for it.
Fair play.
3 Angeli, because she's a good monster still, even though she does go in grave. But as long as she isn't ashed, she still kicks off and essentially does the same combo, if not better.
Fair play.
3 Messenger, it's a hard once per turn search, so you can easily search out back row as long as you can summon multiple of them, which...
We love cards that aren't hard once per turns.
Yeah. 3 Hoot Cake, because for any monster in grave, you can get rid of it, even banish monsters that aren't Madolches if you need to remove them for any reason, for Accessoire or to activate Yugioh and keep no monsters. 3 Madolche, who's actually now good, unlike I said in the last profile where she was bad.
And what makes her good now?
The fact she can search Petting Accessoire, which is instantly a combo because you don't have monsters in grave first turn.
Fair play.
She can finally be used effectively. It's not like a bad Stratos. I run 3 Mifoil. I really shouldn't, but I do. It's just a fun little card that can summon out other Madolche monsters if you're in such a desperate situation.
And gets you that link fodder that you need.
Yeah, it's also one of the other cards that can make Levier, because it's a level 3 that I can summon off of Hoot Cake.
That's fair enough.
1 Pudding Cess. I used to run it at 2.
Oh, I need to get a close-up of this because that is ultimate rare.
It's so good.
Oh, that is beautiful. It's just beautiful.
2
Oh, and it's first dead as well.
Yeah.
I rate that, Max. That is nice.
2 of them bricked, which was always a problem. But with Accessoire, she summons from hand or deck, so she can't brick anymore, but 2 is still an iffy number, especially when she reduces the numbers. So you can't rank 5 engine with it much with her.
I'd take it there's no level 6 Madolche either.
No, which is sad.
That's sad.
The 1 Shriek's Veiler, I don't want to run it, but I have to because it's a level 4 target. And that's the only reason. It's also fun if you Angeli it so it can't be destroyed by battle and they can't pop it. Because it just can't die.
Nice.
2 Jizakuru, 2 Gamma Seal. Because Madolches can easily shuffle them back into deck as long as you can make Tiara Masu. And if they're in grave, you put
pretty easy to do.
Very easy. I need Raiden, but it's them for now. 2 Ash, because Ash is Ash, we all know what it's like. The only hand trap I run, just because I feel it's the most relevant still.
Yeah, I'd say currently for this moment, like, it's probably the most relevant hand trap, second to probably Effect Veiler or Ghost Ogre.
Yeah.
Though I'm noticing Ghost Ogre seems to be dropping down to the side at the moment. Like, Ogre's still good, but it's not as good as she was.
Yeah.
We'll just have to see.
Yeah. Then on.
And from what I've also seen, the latest Ghost Girl, Ghost Sister, she sucks.
She does. Unless you run Air Mages. On to spells. 3 Ticket, because it is the main combo card for the deck. As long as you... Well, Sistart can protect it easily, and every time something goes or something shuffles, you get the specials or adds. Preferably the summon, which is easy, because your extra deck is all fairies. Well, the Madolche ones are.
Nice one.
And it just works so well.
Max, how do you feel if your opponent does a Curse Seal of the Forbidden Spell against Ticket?
You do cry a bit. But you can kind of work around it as long as you back row. Well, Tiara Masu anyway.
Yeah.
2 Chateau. I might run it at 3 eventually, but 2 just seems easy because you want to see it, but not too often.
That's fair enough.
Cause it's good for the shuffle, the attack boost is nice, and the fact you can add from grave to hand is always good. So adding hand traps or any generic monster from grave, which can be now done with the new XZ, which is why Chateau's better.
That's good.
So, 2 Cool by the Grave. Don't know why I don't run 3. I just don't have a 3rd.
So you do know why you don't run 3.
I guess. But it's a card that more so has to be ran these days. If you're not a pure combo deck, you need a way to keep your small combos alive.
Fair enough.
And Cool Buy just helps that. The 1 Monster Reborn,
And in the Lost Ark.
Yeah, Madolche monster, it can work. It's just summons Madolche monsters for more Madolche fodder. Or if you have one engraved you need, you can just summon it out for more combos. 2 storming. A lot of people don't expect mirror forces these days. So, unless it's you, yeah, they expect it from you. But it's just a fun little card because it's the best mirror force for how it doesn't destroy.
Yeah.
It just keeps things rolling as long as it's not popped. Which
And most people are
generally is.
feeling like Storming's the best mirror force at the moment because of Lynx, because they can't be in defense.
Exactly.
So you can't Quaking. Otherwise, Quaking would still be one of the best mirror forces.
Yeah. 2 Solemn Strike, interesting card. Solemn Strike just because it prevents monsters. It's also another negate for the deck and more back row fear for the face downs. Because it could be a Solemn, could be a Mirror Force. You don't know what it's going to be. 1 lesson, use Run at 2, but at 1 because it's so easily searchable. And it's just a good card during damage step to kind of bait your opponent into making something bigger, as I've done multiple times with you, Richie. Or it's just an end phase that can make things bigger and still get a summon off of ticket as long as if it hasn't been used the turn.
That's fair play.
And the final one is Madolche Palooza.
I don't think I've ever seen you play this card.
I only have it at 1 because it's an iffy card that works if you have the Madolche monsters in hand, but if you don't, it just becomes a dead trap that does nothing.
Fair enough.
But it is searchable if required because it is a Madolche trap, so Messenger Lighter can easily add it back.
Fair play.
And then that's all for the main deck, and then we have extra deck. Laurel Sword, because why not? The Madolche deck can spam out monsters, but if it's turn 1, or you've done Siswa the turn, everything else more so shuts down aside from the main Madolche bits. But that's for when you can play around it, usually turn 2, as long as your opponent hasn't destroyed your board completely. The same reason for Borreload. Avram, just because he's an interesting little tech.
Yeah, Avram's good. There's been a lot of debate. I've noticed there's a lot of debate in the community recently, like Avramax might just replace Borreload.
He's a good card, and the fact that Madolches can just spam out Link 2s as well will not mind getting rid of them, because Graveyard Fodder is always nice when they're Madolches. He's just a fun little card to create. Unicorn, it's the best nightmare, and it gets things engraved if required, or if you're lucky you can make the co-link and draw a card.
Yeah. Best nightmare, though I think Orcust would say otherwise.
Well, of course they would. They love Mermaid. The one Mrs. Radiant, I don't make it often, but it's just a card that can be made if I really want to.
And also, I suppose, if you're making Avramax and you're not locked into Madolches, that's, I suppose, an easy monster that you can use to summon it without wasting resources.
Yeah. 2 fresher start. Not 3, not 1, because 2 is alright for if 1 gets banished and you can't get it back. For which you can, but it's not too easy. And because it's a Madolche monster, it can be shuffled back with Chateau or any other card. Which is always nice. 1 Levier, because I do run a tiny level 3 tool bench. It can work if you've hoop caked. It does banish for it, so you can get good resources back. But it doesn't always happen for the fact it has to be 2 level 3s, and the deck isn't too consistent with them. 1 Tornado Dragon, a card that I've never summoned in the deck, but it is potential if you can make it. If you have a dead hand, but you can make 2 level 4s, it just works, I guess. Back row hate for Richie.
Thanks.
You're welcome. 2 Ala mode, well, now 2, because the fact she's not a hard once per turn makes it really fun, so you can get 2 summons if you make 2 XZs, and they just become 3k beat sticks with Chateau on board.
Wait, she only came out in Cross Souls?
Yeah.
I thought she was older than that.
No, she's not that old. And then the newest one, Teacher Glass Souffle, which has to be one of the best monsters in the deck for the fact that it shuffles from either grave and it triggers itself, meaning you can shuffle back Madolche monsters for ticket or some generic things you don't want in there, or shuffle back opponent's key combo pieces.
Disgusting.
And with Chateau it's a 3k butt, so it just does kick off.
Dang.
And then finally, what wouldn't be a Madolche deck without Tiramisu?
And again, both in that beautiful ultimate row.
But only 1 first, it hurts my heart.
Ooh.
But you don't Madolches aren't Madolches without Tiaramsu. Just that non-targeting shuffle is such a good response to most things.
Non-targeting shuffle is pretty much good against anything.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Considering there's very few cards that actually don't have protection against everything.
I just love how that came out in the set after the sets where they were introduced.
Yeah, they came out in Abyss Rising instead of Return of the Duelist, which is really weird.
Yeah.
They didn't have an extra deck. It was just Madolche
Yeah, that
main
was
deck.
so
instead.
odd.
It's really weird.
Makes me wonder what was Madolche like before they had the extra deck.
Oh, I don't know, generic toolbox.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
think
all for-
anyone played them.
Probably not, because we'll sit without an extra deck. But that's all for my deck profile anyway. It might change slightly in the future, but not too much. Because, well, it depends how the sets work.
Fair enough. Okay guys, so that's Max's deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a comment in the description below of what you guys think about the deck, and also feel free to comment any other decks of people at my locals or some of my decks that you'd like to see. Thank you so much for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.